welcome to the October 12th edition of Webb Weekly Live as we roll into fall here, Steph.
It's a beautiful day in the Susquehanna Valley for sure.
It absolutely is, and your cover looks wonderful. Mummers Parade coming up this weekend.
Yes, that's the big story of the paper this week. Lou's got all the details, but it's the 71st annual Mummers Day Parade. It's a South Side tradition. Parade steps off at 2 o'clock.
And it is a great tradition over here in Southside. I mean, when I was a child, we would have it at night, which would allow a little more mischief. And I better not go there. But we'd have a lot of fun with the Mummers Parade. We'd have a hoagie sale for the school, and everybody would buy hoagies and have them before the Mummers Parade. And then the parade was that night, and the kids would slip off and maybe do a little trick of part of the trick-or-treating. But things have changed, and it's been during the daytime forever, and it's still a wonderful event for the family.
Yeah, and once again, this is Dory's first year taking over the parade, and everything looks like it's shaping up really nicely, so I'm excited for her and excited for the parade.
And there's so much going on. Open up the Webb Weekly. We can't go through everything, but there's so much going on throughout our valley that's a great fall, autumn, seasonal stuff for you and the family, and that'll kick right to you. Tell us about.
Yeah, we actually Seth Nolan has a great story this week about a bar crawl that's happening downtown on Saturday.
Well, that's for adults.
That is for adults, but all of the proceeds benefit breast cancer awareness. So they're donating all of that. So go down and enjoy. It's a bar crawl, poker run, but remember the rules: no drinking and driving. So
if you're going to do a brawl crawl, you might as well have a something good to go with it, huh?
I really think that they should start calling it that.
What did I just call it?
You called it a brawl crawl.
Ooh, I meant bar. Anyway.
But, and then the big thing for kids, we have our annual Halloween contest starting this week. It's Where Are the Witches? The way this works is in this week's issue and in next week's issue, you'll find little tiny witches scattered throughout the paper. Count them up, add the 2 weeks together. Put it on a postcard and mail it into our office, or you can email your answers to contest@webbweekly.com.
And folks, it always amazes me how many adults I get approached with about how many witches or ghosts or goblins that you have in. And just so you know, I never get the number right, do I, Steph?
It's true. Rarely do we get the number right in the office here. Luckily, I've got a computer program that counts them for me.
So that's become one of the little seasonal fall things we do that people seem to enjoy.
Yeah, the contest is open to kids 10 and under. And then a couple of years ago, we started a tradition with this contest that for every entry we donate $1 to either LAPS or the SPCA. We've been alternating years. This year, it's LAPS's turn. So for every entry that we receive to the contest, we'll donate $1 to LAPS. Jimmy usually tosses in a little extra.
We do, and it's a great event for the kids, and it's a good way that was actually your idea to give back to the community.
Yeah, and I really enjoy this contest. I get to put together these great buckets of goodies for kids. I apologize to the dentists in the area. So, but yeah, so be sure to check that out in this week's paper.
Excellent. What else?
I think that's it. It's just time to give away your stuff.
Well, let's be very giving today.
Okay.
So what do you got?
I have a $25 gift card to Ichiban. What do you
Nice. I have a $25 gift card to Dolly's Diner.
Okay. Well, I have a trivia question to go with mine.
I don't have any trivia question.
Well, my question is in honor of us donating the money this year to LAPS. What year was LAPS founded? So to win the $25 gift card to Ichiban, answer below what year was LAPS founded.
And that's one you can start guessing, like 1971, and you say no, and I say 1972. And
now, see, it's funny you should bring that up, because that's the reason I had to put the disclaimer in the kids contest about only one entry per child, because I had some kids who were sending in multiple entries with multiple numbers trying to hedge their bets. So.
And all you have to do is be the first caller to the office, and you win the Dolly's gift card on my end. I'm old school and easy, so.
All right.
All right. So we'll take our first commercial break. We'll go to our good friends at Fairfield Auto Group, and we'll be right back.
Over 30 years, one family of dealerships has grown to include 14 brands at 8 locations on an unyielding commitment to hometown values and unrivaled service, selection, and customer satisfaction for 30 years. Fairfield. For fair deals. You're gonna love it.
And we're glad you're back with us. Steph, unfortunately, our guest, who's our corner, Charles Kiesling, couldn't make it today. He had some business arise. And no, it wasn't anybody passed. He had a meeting with the county commissioners. So he wanted us to mention about this program. I'll let you cover that.
Well, they are doing a used safety seat turn-in at the Old Lake Cumming Township Fire Company on Sunday from 1 to 5. Bring in your used safety seat, and in exchange you'll get a coupon to Burger King. So that, that's on Sunday from 1 to 5. Take your used car seats and turn them in for some Burger King.
Absolutely, and well covered, Steph. And the coroner's coming in to speak with us, and obviously the first thing on his list we're going to talk about is going to be heroin, because we'll catch up with him here when it's convenient. But most importantly, I've known our coroner for a while. And he has been so in touch with safety in our area and prevention of accidents. And he's really been so involved in the community, and especially with children. And we're going to cover all that stuff when we do catch up with him.
Yeah, absolutely. And this program is actually partnered with Safe Kids Lake Cumming County.
Yes,
and
Safe Kids. And
Mr. Kiesling works very closely with that organization. So.
And I never thought I'd say this, that we'd be blessed, but we're truly blessed to have Charles Kiesling as our coroner.
Absolutely.
You don't usually, but he has so much community involvement, and we'll catch up with him.
Yes.
Now, I put you on the spot.
You did a little bit, but...
And you came up with with a great guest and a great program, and I'm going to, unfortunately, I have obligations that I'm going to have to leave you.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, I'm going to sit down here very shortly with Tony White from the Alternatives to Violence Project. He's got a great workshop coming up, and he's going to sit down and tell us all about it.
And Tony White, I've known his whole life from the time he was probably 5 years old, and it's funny that you reached out to him, and we have him involved in a great program he's doing, and makes me feel old. So. And then what else do you have?
I am going to hop, skip, and jump over the bridge and sit down with Jody Miller and Don Mays, captain and newly appointed captain at the Williamsport Police Department.
Excellent. So Steph's going to do all the work today, and I'm going to go do my business, so to speak, and do some business for the Webb Weekly.
Sounds good.
Anything we need to cover here?
I think that's about it.
So we'll take another commercial break for our good friends at Fairfield Auto Group. Rick Quigley. A great sales going on right now, SUVs, trucks, great time of year to go see them, and we'll be right back.
Over 30 years, one family of dealerships has grown to include 14 brands at 8 locations on an unyielding commitment to hometown values and unrivaled service, selection, and customer satisfaction for 30 years. Fairfield. For fair deals. You're gonna love us.
And we're back, and I'm here with Tony White, and Tony is a representative of the Alternatives to Violence Project here locally. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So why don't you tell us what the Alternatives to Violence Project is?
Well, Alternatives to Violence Project, called AVP for short. It's actually an international program. It's in 45 countries, and we have conflict resolution workshops. The goal is to reduce violence in society. We're having a workshop coming up October 22nd and 23rd at the Pajama Factory, and it's in nonviolent conflict resolution. Also helps with self-esteem, communication skills, and some community building, so you get to meet and connect with some people locally. But it actually started in a prison in Greenhaven, New York, and it spread worldwide.
Ah, that's really interesting. So what are some of the techniques that are being taught?
Well, it's an experiential workshop, so you kind of have to be there to really get it, but we facilitate these different exercises. A good example is there's a role play where you come up with a conflict scenario, sometimes one from your life, but you don't play yourself, you maybe play a different part, and you also don't plan the ending, and then you kind of improvise, and it helps you come up with a creative solution. And we kind of share with each other different things that we've used in our life, as well as some AVP techniques. So actually you don't just learn from the facilitators, you learn from the other participants. And so the idea is really to empower the people to come up with their own creative ideas.
And how did you get involved with the project?
Well, I was looking for some way to make a difference. I was really concerned about peace, and I just basically ran into someone who was involved in it, and it sounded like a great fit for me. So I went down to Philadelphia, where I was trained. To become a facilitator, you have to take 3 levels of workshops: basic, advanced, and training for facilitators. We're having a basic workshop. Next month we'll have an advanced, and at some point we'll have the 3rd one. And you don't have to go through all 3. You can get a lot just out of going to one. But if you like it and you wanted to become a facilitator, you can do that. And so after being trained in Philadelphia, I've been volunteering at a prison in Elmira, New York. It's a distance away, so I wanted to bring it to the area. I think it could really make a difference in Williamsport.
And in all of the workshops that you've done and the people that you've worked with, what has stood out to you the most? What do you think that you've taken away from this?
Well, it's really effective, and it really it's very uplifting. And so even for the facilitators, even for me, you know, I feel better after having it. I feel uplifted, and so, you know, I go a few months without having a workshop, and then I have a workshop, and I can really feel a difference. You know, also I made a lot of friends. I get to know people, and they share their experiences, and it's not just like how's the weather. It's, you know, you get to really know the person. You get to know on a deeper level, and so the friendships that I've made, as well as I've seen it make a difference for people. So I could go on and on. It, you know, I've seen how it can turn people's lives around and set them on the right path.
That's amazing. I'm really glad to see a project like that coming to the area. And we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back, and we'll get the details on how you can be a part of this workshop coming up here soon.
Over 30 years, one family of dealerships has grown to include 14 brands at 8 locations on an unyielding commitment to hometown values and unrivaled service, selection, and customer satisfaction. For 30 years. Fairfield. For fair deals. You're gonna love us.
And we're back, and you said that there is a workshop coming up here on October 22nd.
Yeah, it's actually a 2-day workshop, the 22nd and 23rd. So it's a Saturday, Sunday, 9 to 6. Lunch is provided, and it's at the Pajama Factory in Williamsport.
And how does someone go about getting registered for the workshop?
Well, you can contact me, TonyWhite12 at Comcast.net is probably the best way. You could also call me, 570-971-9509. You could even go on Facebook, AVP Workshop. But again, TonyWhite12 at Comcast.
And that information, there is an article in this week's paper, and all of the contact information is in there also, so you can catch that there. Is there a cost for the workshop?
Yeah, there's a fee of $25, although scholarships are available. So we don't turn anybody away if they don't have the fee. We do need to cover some costs, like the food and some other supplies. So if you can afford the $25, that would be helpful. If not, you can still come.
That sounds really great. I really thank you for coming in and talking to us about this. This sounds like a really great project. We live in a country right now that it's volatile, and anything that we can do to decrease violence or come to better solutions to dealing with conflict is always a good thing. Is there an age limit or anything minimum on the workshop?
It's going to be 18 and up for this workshop. There's nothing wrong with kids. You know, kids do AVP. It's just that we don't have a chance to get the clearances in time for this one.
Right.
So this is going to be 18 and older.
Okay, and then you said the next level workshop will be when?
It looks like it's going to be 1 month away. I think it's going to be November 18th to 20th.
Okay.
But you don't, again, it's not really a package deal. If you want to just do the first one, that's fine. But if you want to go on, if we get a few local facilitators, then we might be able to spread the program maybe to a youth center or to a nearby prison or reentry center. So that's the ultimate goal, is to find a way to bring it to at-risk populations.
Okay. Well, once again, thank you very much for coming in. Like I said, all of the details on the workshop are in this week's paper, and please get in touch with Tony and, take the workshop and learn more about preventing violence and conflict resolution, and get to know the neighbors in your community a little better. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
For over 30 years, Fairfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has had an unyielding commitment to hometown values, and we know how important those are to you. When you think Fairfield, you think unrivaled service. And of course, it's where Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Rams cost less. Check out deals like this during the Celebration event and Ram Power Days event. Fairfield for fair deals. Fairfield, you're gonna love it.
And we're back, and as you can see, I jumped across the bridge and I'm back at the Williamsport Police Department. I'm with Captain Jody Miller and newly appointed Captain Don Mays. Thanks, guys, for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So you just got a new promotion.
I did.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and what you're going to be doing as the captain now?
Okay. Well, I was hired by Williamsport Bureau of Police in 1998. Obviously, I started out as a patrol officer. Throughout the years, I was assigned to the community policing unit, member of the drug task force. I worked in the vice narcotics unit for a few years, was a supervisor of the vice narcotics unit. 2009, I was promoted to agent, which is our detective unit, and I've been involved in basically handling sex crimes and some other major crimes and specializing in financial crimes for the past few years.
And what will your new duties involve as being a captain?
Well, basically I'll be in charge of the detective unit. The other agents will be working under my command, and I'll also be in charge of the forensics unit, and the property and evidence unit, and the drug task force.
And how is that different than your role as captain?
My role, I'm on the other side of the flow chart here in the organization, and my role basically is to oversee all of the uniformed patrol officers. So all the officers that are out in the patrol car, patrolling the community, responding to 911 calls. I'm responsible to supervise that group.
Okay. So going forward, you guys work together, and what are your goals going, like, what do you hope to accomplish as your new role and working with Jody and doing, work for the city?
One of my main goals is to just try to be more efficient. Try to identify areas where maybe we need a little bit of improvement and to just move forward in that regard.
All right, well, thank you very much. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the work that Webb Weekly and the police department are going to be doing going forward.
Over 30 years, one family of dealerships has grown to include 14 brands at 8 locations on an unyielding commitment to hometown values and unrivaled service, selection, and customer satisfaction. For 30 years. Fairfield. For fair deals. You're gonna love us.
And we're back, and one of the things that Webb Weekly has always prided itself on is being a part of the community of Williamsport and like Cumming County, and we're living in a pretty volatile time in the country right now, and in my opinion, one of the most important things is the relationship between police officers and the communities in which they're protecting. And yesterday we saw a really great thing come out on Facebook. Officer Benier playing football with a young man. I really like to see things like that. It's really great to see, officers interacting with their community. What do you think some of the big advantages of situations like that are?
Well, I'm just thankful. I mean, as many people know, we've hired a lot of new officers in the last couple of years. We've had a big turnover here at the police department. We brought on a lot of new young officers. And I can tell you what, we have some fantastic young men and women here that are willing to put the uniform on and go out and try to serve this community. And obviously the law enforcement piece is important, but we're going to continue to emphasize the service part as well. We mentioned that last week, and it's something that I want to continue to emphasize, the service part. So, I mean, anytime an officer on his own decides to get out of the car and play football with a kid, or shoot some hoops, or just have some conversations with the community, that's what everybody across the country is talking about. We want to have that relationship with this community here, and it's something that we're going to try to continue to emphasize for the officers.
That's really great. Like I said, it's always nice to see that interaction, and I think that helps for kids to feel more comfortable with officers and going to them if they have a problem or an issue, and helping to recede back some of that fear that is in the air right now. And part of this, wanting to be part of your community and is doing a little like Q&A. So we talked about this about, do you have a question for for the police department, for officers? Do you want some information about what's going on in the city and in the area? Email me your questions or Facebook me your questions. Post them below. Jody and I will talk about it, and he'll come on and he'll answer your questions, and we'll open it up to Captain Mays, to Chief Young, to whoever in the department is available to answer those questions. I really think that could be a lot of fun for everybody.
Yeah, we want to try to interact as best we can with our community. If you have a question, submit it to Steph. If you have an idea of things that we can try to do or improve upon, I mean, we're always open to hearing suggestions. I think we've been doing a really good job in the last year or two of trying to get to as many community events as we can, trying to get into the schools as much as we can. There are some limitations to that, obviously, with manpower, and we do have other responsibilities. But again, we want to emphasize that. We want to emphasize the community aspect and relationships. And if there's things you think we can do to improve on that, we want to. But yeah, we'd like to maybe do a Q&A session with you sometime, try to maybe answer some questions. We were just talking around this morning that maybe some of the crimes and cases that we're actively working, maybe we can do some updates with those in some of these segments to try to spark interest from potential witnesses or people that may have information on unsolved crimes. So there's just a couple ideas that we're talking about. So if the community has some other ideas like that they think would be helpful and useful, hey, we're all ears, so let us know.
And dealing with you're dealing with the detectives. Are they out on the street? Are they talking to the community too? I mean, I know it's you see an officer in uniform on the street and obviously who they are, but are your detectives, are they out on the street? Are they talking to people, and what are they seeing in the community right now?
Well, yeah, we are out on the street. Maybe not in the same regard as the patrol officers, but we are out conducting investigations. We are out talking to the community, and we're always looking for opportunities to learn about problems of the community and see what kind of steps we can take to resolve those problems. I think everything has been going very well. We have a really good relationship with the community. I think people really want to know what's going on. They take interest in what's happening in their community, and we're basically all stakeholders in this. So I think getting information out there and getting the public to help us out with our investigations is really important.
Well, that's great. And if I'm not mistaken, the City of Williamsport has a new app available. It's called Wilpo 311. And within this app is actually a way for you to report drug activity in your community, which is another way to bring your community together, to interact with your local police department, to get them the information that they need. So I just wanted to put that out there. But I really appreciate you guys taking the time to chat with me today, and I look forward going forward to seeing what the community wants to know and how we can help bring everybody together. So now we're going to take a quick break, and then we are going to get to our Webb Kids segment. Juliana is back down at the Liberty Arena. She's going to check out the sports side this week, so stay tuned for that.
Over 30 years, one family of dealerships has grown to include 14 brands at 8 locations. On an unyielding commitment to hometown values, an unrivaled service, selection, and customer satisfaction for 30 years. Fairfield. For fair deals. You're gonna love us.
Hello, I'm Juliana from Webb Kids. This week I'm at Liberty Arena with Tom Ott. Hello, Tom.
Hello, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
Very well, thank you much. Thanks for coming down to Liberty Arena today.
So what do you do here at the Liberty Arena?
I'm one of the managers here. I'm a program operations manager, and I'm really in charge of kind of everything in here, just like our other managers. We kind of all make sure that we know kind of what's going on in any aspect of people coming in through the arena. I really take care of the baseball and softball side of stuff going on in here, along with some other stuff. As you can see back here, do you play any softball?
No.
All right, back here we have softball and baseball teams come in here, weekly or during the day after school. So we have teams, and we also have instruction available that people can come down to and enjoy a batting cage at a time. And it's just awesome. It's going to be very busy here in November as the weather gets cold.
So do you coach any sports?
I do coach some sports. My general manager, Abe Badmus, gave me a great opportunity to be involved in here as a manager. But I do also coach one of my sons, Logan, it's called U.S. Elite Baseball. His team travels this weekend to Georgia to play.
So obviously you have children?
I have 3 boys. I have 3 magnificent boys, a wonderful wife. My oldest son, Cameron, is playing football and baseball down at Susquehanna University. My son, Nolan, is a senior this year at Montoursville High School. Played against those Webb boys plenty of times. And then also my youngest son, Logan, also plays some baseball, football, and wrestles at Montoursville.
So could you take us on a little tour of the rest of the room?
I sure can. We call this our small turf area that I've just showed you here just a little bit. And if you take a look over here, we have our larger turf area. We have anywhere from 8 and under soccer all the way up to adult soccers. We have two large nets that we're able to drop down to separate these courts. Do you play any soccer?
No.
No, we'll have to get you down. You're how old?
I'm 11.
You're 11?
No,
You're 10? All right, we have a league for you. We have a league for you. I'll be able to give you a pamphlet on your way out today. We also do flag football in here. And again, the Webb boys are certainly play football as those kids have grown up football and baseball. And as you know, Hunter's doing very well on the football field and Jimmy doing well on the baseball field. We have 9 to 11 boys flag football that starts up in January. Certainly check out our website, www.libertyarena.com, to get all kinds of information. And also, when you might be able to sign up for soccer.
I'm only used to being at Fly World. So could you take us on a tour of the rest of?
I certainly can. Lots of kids your ages certainly do some stuff out here, but they also are very involved in Fly World, which is fantastic over there. But I'd love to show you down on the basketball courts.
Well, do you know what snap magic is?
I do not. What is snap magic?
It's where on 3 we snap and we jump, and then we can land over there.
I'd like to try this.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Wow, that really did work.
I know, I told you so. So what all goes on in the basketball courts?
We have multiple things that go on down here as far as basketball. We have for our younger groups play, it's called John Bauer Basketball that plays on Saturdays. They come in around 8 a.m. and they go till 5 starting in November. It's a church organization that runs their basketball. We have about 55 teams that comes in here through Bob Cellini. We have adult leagues Monday night. Our general manager played for Bucknell, Abe Badmus. He also plays Monday night in our indoor league. And we have a lot of 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th grade stuff that goes on Sundays. We also have a 3 versus 3 tournament that just started. We do a round robin on Sundays in here from a couple teams from Muncie, Hughesville, and the Williamsport area. We also do soccer in here. It's futsal soccer. It's Susquehanna Valley futsal. And they run their stuff on Saturdays in November also. So we can do multiple different things in here, and it works out great.
So can I try and shoot a basket before we leave?
You sure can.
Yes! First try! Peace! Back to you, Jimmy and Steph.
And I caught back up with Steph, my right-hand person and keeper of me out of trouble. How are you?
I'm good.
How did it go today without me?
I think everything went really well. Having Tony White in here was really great. I'm looking forward to seeing what his project brings to the community. And speaking of the community, I think that we're really blessed to have such a great police department that wants to be so involved in our community. And, of course, Juliana does an amazing job always. So.
Well, Juliana, I'm just so proud of her and the progress she's made, and the show seems to get better each week.
Absolutely. She's really coming out of her shell.
And I mentioned in my article this week that we're looking for any young people that do great things in our area or any events that you'd like to see Juliana feature. Reach out to me. Reach out to us. Let us know, and we'd be glad to cover them.
Yeah, absolutely. And
So-
we'd love to get her set up to talk to people, and maybe there's an event that we're missing or an attraction that we're missing that would be good for Juliana to check out. Just get in touch with us, let us know. We'll be happy to set it up.
Absolutely. You have anything else?
I think that's about it.
Well, hey, there's a lot going on. Enjoy the Mummers Parade. Enjoy the pumpkin patches. Enjoy all the fall events. Be careful out there. And remember, God bless America.